Virgo, how are you? The April 2022 forecast for you is telling me that with the Wheel of Fortune in the middle of this spread, which we're going to look at together, is saying that there is the up and up, the upward swing in events. There is that turning point happening this month in April, but there's so much I feel about you basically looking at the concept of, let's call it fate, the Wheel of Fortune. What happens to us in our life without any effort of our own? That's fate, right? In a sense. But then there's free will, and we make our own choices, and we can change the Eight of Cups, the course of the direction at any time. And it's basically you, King of Swords in April, really taking accountability for the active role you're playing in your life, the fated elements, and then the parts where you make the choices and the decisions. Before we get to April and pull more cards for this spread, the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Swords have been coming through for me in late March, coming into April. So this would talk about more cycle ending energy rather than new beginnings. You may feel like you're tying up a lot of loose ends at the moment, Virgo. You also may have found that an emotional situation in your life has kind of reached a breakthrough insofar as like things are improving there. Maybe in a particular relationship, Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups, you've really been taking the good and the bad, but they've both been highlighted in a sense, like what's going well in your personal relationships, what's not going so well in your personal relationships. And it's like, it's not super unsettling for you. I'm more so seeing like a real sense of frustration here, like you having to reflect a lot about like how far you've come and like more or less, Virgo, your active role in things. And sometimes it seems like things do happen for you in a very fated way, and maybe recently you're feeling like that, like just Wheel of Fortune, a lot of synchronizations, like it just seems like there's something at play here without you having to do anything about it. I'm looking forward to looking at these cards together now and clearing them all up and seeing what this really means. But basically, it does seem like recently relationships, they don't have to be romantic. Friendships could be falling here too, business partnerships, or anywhere you just feel like there's, between me and this person, there is a respect, there's trust, and we don't really need to have to define what we are. So it's an important relationship, as in like it is defined, it's obvious what this relationship is to you. So there has been like some ups and downs in your personal relationships recently, maybe like a little more obviously, and it doesn't seem like these are new relationships either. It seems like this is more so a cycle that has been going on for a longer time now that is reaching a breakthrough. So in the month of April, there may be a trip coming up, some sort of an excursion, and something quite exciting happening. If you're going away or taking a trip or just like adventuring around the place, it seems like you're going to have your eyes open to a lot, at least your heart open to a lot of like, oh, this feels really right for me. And there may even be a situation where you find yourself in a place this month in April, Virgo, where I feel like you directed yourself there. It was your choice to go there. It may feel kind of random or sporadic either, just being in the right place in the right time. Both of these cards are kind of different in that regard. This is very purposeful direction. This person may not know exactly where they're going, but they know why they're going somewhere. And the Wheel of Fortune, it just sometimes can feel like it's more fated. So you may find yourself in a place this month, Virgo, that either you chose to go there, or you just ended up there, but a lot of truth is revealed to you here. You understand so much from just being here. Maybe you go home, and maybe you go somewhere else completely different. And when we're on vacation, we can kind of be more of ourselves sometimes, because we're relaxed. You can kind of say like, oh, I feel like a totally different person on vacation, or a totally different person when I'm in this country or here. It may be you go somewhere that brings out something in you that's really important. Towards the end of the month, this relationship in the Two of Cups, if you've been experiencing relationship difficulties in late March, it does seem like come the end of April again, there is some sort of a re-examination of past difficulties. The Hermit, your energy is coming through here, Virgo, telling me that you have a lot to reflect on about your relationships. And it seems like you have been reflecting a lot about your relationships, but it's positive because things have been breaking through for relationships for you. you that are like improving, and you're like, things are getting better here. People are feeling better. Like if you had been worried about anybody's mental health or happiness, it does seem like there's breakthroughs there, and in terms of things improving. But at the same time, maybe you're beginning to realize recently how much that's really taken out of you, you know, how much you've been drained by the worry of other people, and just like feeling defeated on some levels too. But it's just perhaps wrapping up old behavioral patterns. But if there have been relationship difficulties, the Lovers in reverse towards the end of the reading is kind of reinforcing that and telling me that, you know, there might be problems here at the moment, not seeing eye to eye. The only thing I can say about this is it seems like you're just reflecting on the Lovers in reverse by the end of the month and determining whether your choices have been aligned as a unit, as a union. Have you been guys making the right choices together? But if you're not coupled up, Virgo, the Lovers card is very much about our alignment with ourselves, the person we look back in the mirror. It's the Gemini card, sign of the twins, sign of duality, sign of choice, a sign of, well, you can't have one thing without the other existing, the opposite. So in reverse, we feel slightly unaligned to the reflection of, let's say, our highest self. We may feel out of touch from what is absolutely best for us at this time in our life. So it just sees you, Virgo, looking back, hermit lamp is on, re-examining this situation. How did you get here? How did we get here if it applies to a couple? And how have I become frustrated? I think there's a lot of like fickleness as well, Lovers reverse. People not really doing what they say they were going to do. That's annoying. And you're frustrated by that. You're getting a little weary by that pattern. If that's been coming up again and again, the Four of Cups is telling me like you're over that. That's something that you can't really deal with anymore in any of your relationships. The fickleness, it's pretty frustrating. I think we should just get looking at these cards together and pull some more to clear them up. The Ten of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Two of Cups. And I'm taking this energy for, you know, around the end of March, coming into April. Remember though, time, energy, I set my intention around these readings before I begin for this to apply whenever you hear it. And I do believe that when you hear it, it's meant for you. The Hierophant, okay. And again, what else have we got? Five of Cups. So yeah, I mean, this has been sort of more confronting for you because you've been making decisions around, I'm really picking up on a relationship here, that there has been some opposition between what you guys value in the relationship, and even like one of you thinking it's going super smoothly and well, and the other person being more aware of where this is verging towards, you know, a break down on some level. So there could be a little bit of denial here. There could be a little bit of, you know, fear here. And together it's like, you know, not really seeing eye to eye, and this being a disappointment recently. So I do see that there have been relationship issues around you and another person, Virgo. It doesn't have to be romantic. This could just be applying to a friendship, relationship with parent, boss, relationship with friend. The Hierophant is saying that it's coming down to values really, and people making decisions, people making choices, Justice card at the bottom of the deck, that feel out of alignment. And the Five of Cups is showing me that there has been some recent sorrow. There has been really some letting, you know, you being let down around a relationship. Let's see, it hasn't been so easy, I guess. The one thing that is showing me to come true though, or like ring true at the moment, is that regardless if this is even enough, there is love in this situation. Like there is feeling there, connection there. Like, does that mean that that's enough for this to be healthy, for this to be stable or manageable? No, absolutely not. Not if it's missing all the other vital ingredients. Love may merely not be enough. And that could be what you're confronting too. Like, yeah, I care about this person a lot, I really love them, but at the same time our values consistently seem to be out of alignment. And not only that, it's not just that it's even super passive, like the person that you're dealing with kind of brings it up again and again, or highlights that there is a sort of opposition in values here. And it's kind of like, if you can't even really ignore it then. And the 10 of Cups tells me that maybe you have been ignoring some problems, and even in yourself, Virgo, because I feel like in April overall, this is a time of taking accountability for how you step up to the shaping of your life. Yes, of course, we have free will and we can alter the route we take at any time, but sometimes fate has a hand in it too. And when fate has a hand in it, these are the circumstances that unfold for us where we're not even doing anything. We're just like walking down the street and something happens. That's more so fated, okay? In terms of the tarot's sort of meanings behind the Wheel of Fortune. So one way or another, the King of Swords has to look at something coldly. It's not always easy to face up to uncomfortable truths about how we are creating situations in our life. We can't blame everything on fate or bad luck or good luck. The 8 of Cups is saying that your soul is speaking to you this month and encouraging you to take a journey somewhere. Take a journey towards a greater sense of truth, the King of Swords. Okay, so the 8 of Cups, let's have a look at this with the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Swords. So as I was shuffling there, the Magician card is popping up. So the Magician card is number 1 in the tarot, coming right at the close to the beginning of the journey of the soul's, let's say, evolution through the major arcana cards, if we want to put it like that. This is the start of creation. Magician has become aware at this part of their consciousness and evolution that, hey, I manipulate energy, and everything is energy. Everything is frequency, energy, vibration. That's all that we can actually say is real in a sense. Measurable, right? And I'm a very metaphysical person, but this is all scientifically quantifiable. So if you need it, if you need that, and I know Virgo as a rationally minded person, stereotypically, or as a rational energy, this could be important. Now, Virgo is mutable, so it is also a chaotic energy. So there's this kind of chaotic rationale. I love it, but it is an interesting mix. The Magician has reached a time now in their evolution where they know that they can manipulate energy, that if they put enough energy in terms of their intention, their focus, their beliefs, their the way they speak about it, their heart's frequency, if they know if that can be consistent enough and directed enough, that eventually energy will manifest on the physical, right? So the Magician is all about like sheer manifestation. That's what I'm talking about though, Virgo. You have an active role that you're playing in your life in a bigger way in April. Even though we always are, you may become more aware of it in April, where you're like, oh wait, I'm responsible for all of this, everything that's happening to me, everything that I perceive to be happening to me is because of me. And that just becomes so obvious. And isn't that so powerful? That's nothing to make us fall into any victim mentality. In fact, it's there to pull us out of any victim mentality, to realize that everything we want is possible, that we are limitless creators of our conscious reality. And that's what I think that Magician card is saying right now. So the 8 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Swords. Let's get going on what to expect in April. I see trips coming up, excursions, journeys, missions, things like that, callings. The High Priestess is coming through with the 7 of Cups. So the 7 of Cups and 8 of Cups in April. So you go back and forth with yourself almost between action and inaction a lot. And it's kind of like, are you waiting for something to happen? Are you waiting for something to fall into your lap, or something kind of just to change? Or could you make a change of some description in April? The Wheel of Fortune does indicate this turning motion of the wheel. So that's change. That's a cycle. Eclipse here, coming through in this eclipse energy, which we have on the 30th of April. So we're about to begin eclipse series in a month's time. April 30th, May 16th will be right in the middle of our eclipses at that point. So eclipses destiny in astrology, Wheel of Fortune, fate or destiny in the tarot, it does seem like something is happening that's just meant to be this month. And there's like this kind of push-pull for you. It seems like you're being more passive about it, the High Priestess, which would be just like kind of surrendering to what feels like it's meant to be, surrendering to what's happening. And I mean, people might be saying to you, you have to go for this, Virgo, you have to do something about this, go. But maybe something is telling you that you're just meant to wait, or you're just meant to sit and allow this to happen. Now, this could present confusion because, again, I'm not saying at all what way you should go with this, Virgo. I'm just totally thinking that there's like this opposition between what's happening that you can make happen with your choices and what's just kind of bound to happen or going to happen. And should you just kind of step into this, let it happen and relax into it? I would tune out anything that anyone else is saying regardless, because the High Priestess tells me that you're very intuitive this month and like your gut, your inner voice will be speaking to you. So it won't feel like anxiety. It will feel very serene, very calm, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I trust in that. The Seven of Cups is saying like things could get messy and confusing and overwhelming if we probably allowed too much noise to come in from the external. There is this like crescent moon energy here, waning cycles, eclipses is what I'm thinking though. Eclipses are the agents for greater change astrologically in our life. We may look back to periods of eclipse energy and be able to correlate more significant turning points in the story of our life. And this month it's a change. There's something going on. There's something kind of going to be moving for you. I really do sense that. It could get overwhelming if you let too many other voices in, is what I'm hearing right now. High Priestess is kind of telling me like you know what to do. The King of Swords is like you may have to be honest with yourself more uncomfortably. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to say you were wrong and you made a mistake. That's okay. That just shows you're learning and you're growing. The worst thing you could do would be completely close your mind off, which we have our two Mercury signs here, Gemini, Virgo, which Virgo in its mercurial nighttime expression is more narrow-minded, more close-minded, whereas the Gemini mercurial daytime air expression is open-minded, but it can be scattered, it can be superficial. So be flexible, be open-minded this month. The Lovers card in reverse, the Four of Cups, and the Hermit card. Right, okay. So this is the failure to meet some sort of a test, and the Hermit sometimes can fail to face facts or be kind of narrow-minded around what they're seeing, because look, they're up on a mountain here, or they're pretty far away, detached from the Lover's energy, other people, other influences. So when they discover something to be true up here, maybe it's hard to kind of shift that, and maybe that was just influenced by just one perspective. But this is also just like a little bit of fickleness that you're realizing, and you're very over this. So let's look at the Lovers reverse, the Four of Cups, and the Hermit card. What's coming through for Virgo around the end of April? The Fool card and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so I mean, it's just not going to be good enough anymore. You're quite pissed off with something at the end of the month, and it might not even just be about how this person or a situation is impacting on you. You now feel responsible for somebody else, or you're at least becoming aware that like what's going on isn't just bothering you, it's actually bothering other people, which is bothering you, and you're like enough is enough on this. So you take off on an entirely new approach by the end of the month, and you're kind of like done being drained with people that let you down and say they're going to do something and they don't, and it just shows to you like a complete lack of respect, and you're very much over it at this point. What else would I say that's going on here now? The Fool card is Uranus. This is a Taurus energy with the Five of Pentacles. We will have Mercury, which it is Mercury in Taurus coming up. Let me just think when that is happening. Yep, that's going to be happening towards the end of April, actually. So we'll have Mercury in Taurus, we'll have Uranus in Taurus. Look at where Taurus is in your birth chart, Virgo. So that will be seeing what house it is. For example, if you're a Gemini rising, Virgo Sun, Gemini rising, that means Taurus was going to be in your 12th house. Just looking at your birth chart, see where Taurus is. This is going to be an area of life, for whatever reason, that seems to be kind of generating more breakthrough conversations, Uranus and Mercury. So there does seem to be, for whatever area of your life it applies to, Virgo, by the end of April, breakthrough communications, startling outbursts, information that takes you off guard but liberates you ultimately. That's all Uranus, that's all Mercury. And in Taurus, it's kind of like, something, this is the Hierophant, the Taurus card. It's like, oh, well, everybody says it's always been done like this. And you've been accepting that so far. But come the end of the month, this Mercury, your ruling planet of communication in Taurus, with Uranus and Taurus, the great awakener is Uranus, the liberator, the shock kind of cataclysmic sort of like mover and shaker. So you have a real breakthrough in understanding Mercury. You have a real breakthrough in how you communicate, and that could be very beneficial too. Well, Virgo, have a great month. What I'm seeing overall is like there's a change coming in the way things are happening in your life in April, how they unfold. You won't be freaked out by this. In fact, you'll feel very comfortable with this, the High Priestess. Now, emotionally, it could get confusing and overwhelming if you're trying to keep everybody else happy. Roll with the changes, kind of they have a destined feel, or they have something of a like, this feels right in your soul, things like that. And any relationships that are kind of coming to an end at this time or reaching breakthroughs on, I feel like you're okay with that because you are aligning to your value system greater and greater. Okay, have a great April. I hope it's really positive for you, Virgo. Bye.